for AV Ultima, first game goes to ZenoAkoop. I was excited there.
That was an exciting game. I think the downside was AV just didn't ramp up with his farms fast enough after that early play. He could have ramped up a bit faster, seeing as Zeno had no army. And
again,
also, the lizards were just awful. They were awful in that fight around that cliff. They had to walk all the way around.
Even backed up by chameleons. They just...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it would have been any different if he had bought a second windmill and maybe charged and tried to base race, but against ZenoAkoop.
Going to game 2. Zeno to the north as red, AV to the south as green. Let's take a look at the map.
And this is pretty interesting. It looks like most of the bases are in the center of the map, whereas AV Ultima has a nice protected base with only one entrance, very tiny entrance. ZenoAkoop has a much more open base, but maybe access to a couple windmills a bit sooner. And again, a couple bases off on weird places on the map. Zeno with a great expansion off to the east here. There's only one way to get in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, AV, with all this water on the map, it's going to be tough for him to get any early aggressive play. With squirrels, he just wouldn't be able to push across the map very fast. Although there are those bridges, it's just can be a bit tricky. Zeno going 7 farm Warren, while AV is going straight out to 8 farms.
So standard play from ZenoAkoop, a nice safe 7 farm Warren. And AV Ultima just put his Warren down right now, so he's a little bit late on his timing there. But again, with this base and that front, it's going to be very hard-pressed to try and take down AV Ultima's base.
Definitely. Interesting how AV decides to go with a Warren on the low ground, foregoing the high ground advantage that you would have if Zeno attacked.
I mean, I guess if
so
Zeno...
maybe AV going for a bit more aggressive, maybe he's looking to get the fights himself.
Again, if Zeno had bought that windmill in front of AV Ultima's base, he might have been able to turret block him, so that might be the reason for having Warrens out front, to block any kind of turret contain. Oh, and ZenoAkoop dying. That's an unusual move for somebody who's usually so good with timing and with keeping an eye on everything. It might not be, he doesn't care at this point in the game, but...
Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. Zeno's got chameleons on the way, and also up to 9 squirrels getting that expansion on the low ground. No fights though so far. It's fairly uncharacteristic of AV. Be almost 3 minutes into the game and still no poking at all.
Yeah, he might be worried. I mean, if he loses this match, he's out of the quarterfinals. And especially, you know, being up against somebody like ZenoAkoop is very intimidating. So it's hard to be aggressive.
Zeno got two farms on his new expansion already. AV's got no expansion to speak of. So if he keeps waiting, AV's gonna fall behind. Maybe he decides to pick up an expansion.
AV getting out 15 squirrels though now. ZenoAkoop throwing down a second chameleon Warren, and now we get to see perhaps a switch of what happened in a couple of games we've seen, where the giant squirrel ball beats even chameleons. We'll see.
Ooh, Zeno going up to 6 chameleons.
Oh dear. I don't know if you can deal with 6 chameleons even with 15 squirrels.
We'll have to see. I would very much doubt that Zeno could lose a fight with that many chameleons. But it's going to take a while for them to come out, and AV might decide to attack just right now.
It's going to be a little bit hampered by that feather wire, but again, those chameleons are just going to one-shot it out of existence. And here we go.
Here we go, first fight. AV definitely had the advantage there in army value, but Zeno did have those chameleons.
All of the chameleons are down, which means that AV Ultima, with 10 squirrels still on the field, might be able to push in.
He picks off the chameleon Warren. That's good trade.
A big 120 food.
Yeah, definitely.
10 farms to 11.
It's a tense game right here. You got both players on the same amount of farms, fairly similar builds, fairly similar structure to their army, both going up to 15 squirrels. Both got a couple of chameleons, although Zeno does have the advantage in chameleons.
And here goes AV again. Zeno knows that expansion is there now. He's not
AV
quite around to micro the army, and AV might be able to take out a few more Warrens here.
He does. Oh, and this fight going down. This
Four
is not going
chameleons.
to be good for Zeno, for AV. With that many chameleons, his entire army gets taken out.
Wow, and AV's chameleon just gets immediately eaten up.
We see the advantage there that having just even one more Warren of chameleons has, and Zeno, perfect timing. I'm going to attack right after he builds the farms as well. So even if this attack doesn't go too well, he's still got the economic advantage. Takes down that windmill. Massive blow to Zeno, to AV.
AV's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, at that 5-minute mark, those farms are starting to die. He's really behind on economy now. This can be tough.
And he's going to go ahead and just rebuy that base, because what choice does he have? Unless he could maybe sneak out and get a secret expansion, but Zeno, I think, is just too good at scouting. AVULTIMA throwing down another Chameleon Warren and Hawks. Hawks is an interesting choice, as Hawks could take down Chameleons. It would take them a while, and especially with so many squirrels out on the field, you'd have to really be careful with where you're putting your Hawks during the battle.
Definitely. We'll have to see some good micro to make most of that. AV now has the disadvantage in squirrels. Zeno's got far more, 18, and he's got 6 chameleons coming out here. And Zeno's going to push forward. Decides not to engage. Decides not to engage around that farm.
And this is a rough spot for AVULTIMA to be in, because on the one hand he has to keep building farms, and on the other he really can't afford to spend any more food than he has to. That windmill goes down.
AV loses that forward expansion again. Even if this fight, it doesn't go well at all for AV. AV gets taken out. GG.
GG. So that is it. ZenoAkoop taking the series 2 games, or taking the match 2 games to 0. AVULTIMA was very close there in a couple of spots, though. I have to applaud him. Definitely that first game.
He played really well.
Yeah, with that early poke with moles.
That was a really strong play from both players there. Zeno clutching it with 2 wins, going straight to the semis. So.
Alright, and that is all of the quarterfinal matches we have for today. Zeno